Kevin from Southwest Houston has a question about cosmetic repairs.
Well, he had some repairs done by Abacus, which led to the kind of cosmetic repairs you have to do sometimes. Kevin writes, they didn't disappoint. Abacus sent out a master plumber. He replaced several fixtures, a water heater, but he had one little problem. The shower fixture required a 1-foot hole square to be cut on the wall behind it so that they could access it. I was forewarned, though, he says, and referred to a contractor for the repair. But the repairs were quoted at $400. And Kevin questions that pricing, Tom. What say you?
Well, if you get someone good to do sheetrock, it's an art.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think $400. By the way, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if there's somebody good, is outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to somehow get that thing. He's got to put the stuff, get it on there, right?
Yes, he's got to get it on there.
Well, I'm just saying he's going to put the strapping behind and put it on there. He's going to have to tape it and float it and texture it and paint it.
And he's probably going to have to come over at least 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, and he's got to match the color that's in the room unless you're changing the color of the bathroom.
And here's the other thing. Most good repairs, now maybe that he's not going to do this, I don't know, but the plumber cuts a hole that they need. They have to cut back even further so you get a bigger piece of sheetrock because a bigger piece of sheetrock is going to tape, float, and texture and match much better. Oh, so instead of trying to have some little thing.
He's not just going to put that little piece back in then.
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't if it was mine. They're going to have to cut back to framing material.
Okay.
And the rule usually is if you really want it done nice, you have a 4x4 foot piece of sheetrock, not a little 2-inch by 8-inch thing. Sometimes people will see it, but we'll do it, but it'll look terrible.
Now $400 seems downright reasonable.
And he's going to have to come back more than once.
Right.
The sheetrock has to dry. I mean, the mud has to dry, and then the texture has to dry. Then you got to come back and probably paint the whole wall. And I think $400 is totally reasonable. I'm surprised they're not complaining about Abacus's bill, because usually people complain about the plumber's bill first because that gets expensive.
But you know why I think it's crazy to complain about the Abacus bill is that they come.
Well, no, but people just usually do.
You call, they come, it's fixed, like bang.
Absolutely.
And it's like done right. And so.
And it's just the way things cost today.
Exactly. I mean,
you're not getting anything for $80. It's people won't come to your door for $80. They're going to have to make a profit.
It's like the story of this old boy who they had a big old back in the days of steamships. They had a big old steamship engine that had seized up, and they'd had all their technicians trying to fix it, and they couldn't. So they finally called in this expert. You know the story?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you were smiling.
The steamship.
Well, here it is. A guy comes in, this mechanic comes down and goes down, looks at the engine in the steamship, says, yeah, I can fix this. He says it's going to be 10,000 pounds. This is back in old England, right? And they go, well, okay. So he goes down there. He takes his hammer. Bang, bang. Thing starts right up. So he goes back, sends them a bill for $10,000. And they said, well, wait a minute. That's not reasonable.
Pounds.
10,000 pounds. Can you send me a breakdown for this bill? And he says, okay, sure. He says, labor. 1 shilling, knowing where to hit 10,000 pounds.
That's
so
true.
There it
you
is.
do pay for skill.
That's exactly right.
I'm sorry. There's guys that have done the same thing over and over for 30 years. They have 1 year's experience. There are guys that have been working for 30 years that have 30 years of progressively better experience. And so if he did a lousy job, I wouldn't pay him. If he did a perfect job, $400, baby, right there.
There it is. And you know what we charge you for that kind of answer? Bupkis, right?
1 shilling.
That's it. Right. Send us your shekels. No, seriously. Send us your questions. Visit HomeShowRadio.com. Click on that Ask Tom button. Fill it out. Send it in. Question will come out here, just like it did over here for these videos. Subscribe to our channel. You'll be helping us out.
Ding.